Why? That's a big... Why? That's a... What? Did they not playtest that? Generic intro into that goes me. We're back with another Scott the Woz video. Today we're doing Wii and Nintendo DS accessories by Scott the Woz, but this is on Scott's snippets because he did like 2 of these videos, did Wii accessories and a DS accessories video, but he kind of like put them together in one. It was like the most like comment on last week's video, which was console generation war, which is Xbox 360 versus PS3. You can check out my reaction to that. I'll leave it right up there. Also, the link down below in the description. Also, I'm gonna place my channel all my other Scott the Woz reactions. Go in chronological order if you want to binge watch through all of those, which I've learned a lot about gaming and stuff. I learned a lot about the PS3 last week and learned a little about the Xbox 360, which is what I grew up with. But I had a Wii. I didn't have a bunch of accessories for it. I did have the DS, the original DS, and I didn't really have any accessories for that either. So I'm gonna learn a lot in this video. I just recorded like a 90-minute long Cadicarus video about Crash Bandicoot 4, and I'll be starting the Crash Bandicoot franchise this coming up Saturday because I just finished Devil May Cry 5, which that video should be going live on the Duck Goes Gaming today. But shout out to the patrons because they got all the videos a day early. I could not do this if it was not for them. $3 a month get you all my reaction videos a day early. And I do read all the comments whether you're a patron or whether subscribed now, but I hope you are subscribed as we are inching closer to 101,000 subscribers. That is mind-blowing to even think about, but I couldn't do this if it was not for the patrons because January is really, really rough, and most YouTubers are taking January off because it's so bad, and I'm just like, nope, same amount of videos because I love making people's days better, so hopefully I can make yours time a little bit better. But let's go ahead and jump into Wii and DS accessories.
Hey all, Scott here. I have started
Can't
a
interrupt
health
him.
initiative to bring awareness to plastic deficiency. I was diagnosed with it 22 words ago and would like to open things up for people willing to donate to the cause. I was also diagnosed with live plastic deficiency to get a free Wii Zapper syndrome.
The Nintendo Wii,
I had one.
best-selling consoles of all time. Its mission:
Wii Sports
appeal to
is
people
goated.
outside of the gaming crowd with games and controllers that were simple and intuitive. First everybody, then the world. For a while there, everybody's favorite pastime was buying a Wii.
Was it really
all
that cheap?
because of its controller. The Wii Remote had motion sensing capabilities, which made things drastically easier for more casual consumers to understand. You didn't have to press A and then X, followed up with a bachelor's degree to swing a baseball bat. You just swung the baseball bat.
Yeah.
The Wii was a success due to how simple it was. So why was there so much shit you could buy for it?
What?
Oh my god, it's a Wii owner, sir. Would you buy any of this?
Oh, I'll buy f***ing anything.
The Wii
Releasing
Fit,
in 2006,
yeah, that sold
the
like
Wii was a
crazy.
tremendous hit, specifically with the outsiders. Yeah, those people who didn't normally play video games.
Oh,
They
the
had a lot
weather.
of fun with games like Wii Sports and Wii Play.
I miss
They
golf.
were
It's
simple
so
to control
cold.
and easy to understand, primarily because the controls for the games were incredibly intuitive due to them mimicking real-life motions. It felt like you were actually golfing or swinging a tennis racket.
No, it didn't feel
We
like
can't just
actual
stop at
golfing
the
at all.
liability wand. We can
No.
make this so much more realistic. We can put it in a wheel, put it in a gun,
Did-
put it in
I
a
didn't have
kid.
any of those.
The Wii Remote
Wait,
was pretty much
what?
a blank slate. You can do anything.
What do you
with
mean
it.
put it
How do
in
you
a
make
kid?
things more immersive
Ayo.
by doing this. Accessories for video game platforms are an inevitability. Extra doodads to make your
the
experience
Power
that
Glove.
much better with a question mark. Some are completely optional, some may be required for certain games, and all are too damn much. I would argue the Wii was the system with the most accessories ever. Just the fact you could swivel the
No
controller
way.
and it was a
The
simple
most
rectangle
ever.
meant you could pop this brick in anything for maximum unnecessary.
That is true.
Whether accessories were made by Nintendo themselves, licensed by Nintendo to carry the Wii branding, or were fucking garbage, any way you slice it, there were a ton of accessories for the Wii. It would be nearly impossible to compile them all together, but that's exactly what Noah said.
Two of
Did
each
my
animal.
best, and here we have the world of...
Wii accessories.
So the Wii was a 2006 party platter. In the box, you got a stand,
Nuts.
a stand for the stand, AV cables, power adapter, sensor bar, Wii remote with a jacket, nunchuck, and a copy of Wii Sports.
Yes.
Who's hungry for more? I guess you could consider
no, that's all I
nunchuck
need.
to be an accessory. Plug it in the bottom of the Wii remote for games that support it. Boom! You just gain a thumbstick.
That's all it takes.
We have 2 more buttons and another excuse for motion controls. And the nunchuck is a necessary evil.
Also,
with
I'll be
life
starting,
needed for a good chunk of the Wii library, but I don't know many strictly nunchuck
Crash
fans.
Bandicoot, the
There's
franchise,
absolutely zero weight
this
to it.
Saturday.
Its motion controls are 100% not as good or responsive as the Wii remote itself, and while I didn't have much of an issue with the cord, many did and felt it would get in the way of what once was a truly wireless experience. I'm surprised not that many Wii games supported using dual Wii remotes.
That
as
would have
an
been
option.
genius.
You'd have to plug the nunchuck into this here port, which offered endless opportunities. So many other Wii controllers use this, and there's never been this many possibilities with just one hole. The Wii Classic controllers were used by those too stubborn to convert. Some games offered support for
That dude's
them. You
sitting
plug them
down
into
and
the
using
bottom
a
of the
Wii Fit.
remote, and you just use them like any other controller. They were primarily created to control classic games you download from the Wii Shop channel, hence why the first model looks so similar to a Super Nintendo controller. In fact, only available in Japan through the Club Nintendo service was a legitimate Super Famicom controller for the Wii. It works
color.
just like a classic controller, but it doesn't have the sticks and tic-tac growths. They later released an update, the Classic Controller Pro, firmly drawing the line between people who
$20
use the
though?
Classic Controller and people who cared. I love when the word pro is used for products like this. I can't use this, I'm a professional. A tweaked Classic Controller with some button placement adjustments, and of course something to keep your palms busy. These were nice little extra purchases back then. They may not have had
But only
rumble or
$20.
motion controls, and they were always tethered to the Wii Remote, but I never personally had an issue with that. All of those downsides contributed to an extremely affordable price. Only around 20 bones for these controllers made them a bit of a no-brainer.
That's someone with 3 Xbox One controllers on my desk right now.
See, these things are amazing. But see, there's even more to this port. Contrary to popular belief, the Wii Remote wasn't perfect.
It's okay, who cares about religion anyways?
Many would point to the initial trailers for the console where people were using the controllers in exaggerated ways, like jumping behind the couch to take cover. See, the Wii Remote needed more oomph if it was ever going to come close to detecting more precise hand movements like that.
It was
so
pretty good.
The game Wii Sports Resort, Nintendo unleashed their next Wii Remote add-on. Let me check my pocket. Oh yeah, I got one. The MotionPlus. The Wii MotionPlus is attached to the bottom of the Wii Remote and added a gyroscope.
I didn't
to further
play
enhance
Resorts.
The Wii Remote's
I just
motion-sensitive
needed
capabilities. Like
standard.
the Wii Remote did the job before this, but that's all you could really say about it. MotionPlus actually read the precise positioning of your hand. It just comes with the downside of having to recalibrate the controller from time to time. But it does read movements far more accurately, and it came with a longer Wii Remote jacket too. I'm welcome. This technology was quickly.
Dude, I remember how squishy the ends of those are.
Which these are definitely the go-to way to experience MotionPlus. You'd constantly have to rip off the adapter to use it with other accessories, and this thing was complicated as all hell considering Nintendo included a Wii MotionPlus how-to video with all games they released that supported it. Nintendo, why didn't you include a how to click on the Wii MotionPlus video? I have no damn clue what I'm doing here. A good handful of Wii games either offered MotionPlus support or 100% required it, so thank God they incorporated that technology into future Wii remotes. This has gone through the laundry 5 too many times. Here's the thing though.
Wait, how do you
is great, good for
get
it,
about that?
but it isn't wheel-shaped enough. That's exactly why Nintendo created the Wii Wheel, bundled in with Mario Kart Wii plastic.
My cousin had one of these.
It doesn't give the Wii Remote any additional features or benefits outside of feeling more steering wheel-like. It does have a cutout for the IR pointer and an extension for the B button, but other than that, there is nothing the Wii Wheel offers that tape doesn't. Back in 2008, this was kind of cool because, like I said, what made the Wii Remote popular were the games that mimicked real life. Throw the bowling ball, slaughter poultry. This felt like
compared to an actual racing sim,
unnecessary purchase considering it's just a holder for the remote.
You can spend
all it does is make it feel like your
several
license
hundreds.
gets suspended. It may be just plastic, but that never stopped publishers from adding
wheel.
compatible with Wii Wheel to their game boxes. Oh yes, it's compatible with the Wii Wheel. Is it also compatible with the concept of love? But that brings us to the ultimate form of plastics. Wii games taught me what it's like to play golf.
Wedge.
They also taught me what it's like to kill. The Wii
I've always
Zapper,
wanted to play golf, and then when I did the Summoning Salt video on
probably also because
the
they
Wii
don't really like
Sports,
to label
I
things
was like,
as
I'm gonna start golfing.
For only $20, you got literally the only thing that matters, and this looks like a gun shed its skin. Link's crossbow training was bundled in with all zappers and is a simple high-score-based game with a handful of levels based on The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Never played Zelda.
3 different types of stages.
I will eventually, and I'll stream it when I do.
Targets and on-rail sections, others where you have to stand your ground and
Hopefully,
defeat
I
the
can
enemies
get a
before they
Switch
get to
too when
you,
those
and
come out.
full-on third-person shooting sections where you have full control of Link. It's incredibly short. You can get through the entire thing in roughly 45 minutes, but it's legitimately fun to try and go for high scores. It's interesting Nintendo opted for a Zelda-themed pack-in game for the Zapper, considering this isn't the first franchise I think of when the term Zap is brought up. Also, Nintendo's pack-in titles for the Wii were generally the generic Mii-based games, but to be fair, this is a weapon. This is already mostly aimed towards the core Wii owner, not the people who bought Wii Play, more so the people who bought Elements. So I think it just made sense to utilize one of their more mature
I didn't have like any games on the Wii besides
which just makes me wonder why they didn't do a Metroid Prime shooting range pack-in instead. That would have made slightly more sense. But that's just the game. What about the Zapper? I hate it. I never liked this thing. If we look at the Wii Wheel, that's as simple as Wii accessories get. Boom, just wasted $20. The Wii Zapper isn't as complicated as a science project, but compared to other Wii accessories, it is. Put the Wii remote here and then the nunchuck here. Open up this flap, close it shut, take off the back cover, wrap the cord around, have it extend out here, put the cover back on, plug into Wii remote. Why did I do this? By the time I finish setting this up, it fully sets in that no game needs the Wii Zapper. It's just a shell for the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, and to me, it makes things slightly more awkward when I play first-person shooters with it. Instead of being able to hold the Nunchuck independently and move the Wii Remote by itself, these two things are now conjoined. You
can't shoulder it.
Shoot. Sure, it feels a bit more gun-like, but not enough to be a huge boost to immersion. Like, the Wii Wheel looks and feels like a wheel. The Wii Zapper is as gun-like as a water gun. This has way too much work required for what ends up being just an okay experience at best. I would always prefer to just use the vanilla Wii Remote and Nunchuck setup. It's more more comfortable this way and doesn't require any preparation. Which that was the mentality behind Wii Speak, Nintendo's solution to voice chat online.
Okay, did not know this
just
existed.
Do it. This was released alongside Animal Crossing City Folk.
Well, that's why,
Plug it
because
into
never
one of
played
the
Animal
USB
Crossing.
ports on the Wii, set it on top of the sensor bar, and talk to your friends, or at the very least try to. See, the concept behind Wii Speak was great at the time. You wouldn't have to wear headphones with a mic, no wires, just talk to your TV and hear your friends talk back.
And it's not going to come
like
too
a
good.
very Wii way to do voice chat. The problem was that microphone was right next to your TV's speakers, so while it would pick up your voice, it would also pick up the game's audio and your friend's voice and their game's audio.
It would echo.
Stop echoing, so it was just my favorite definition of not good.
Did they
might
not
have said it was
playtest
designed
that?
to mute the game audio or echoes, but this is the same company who said, let's make the Wii Speak. You can download the Wii Speak channel alongside it, coming in December. It doesn't work anymore, but it would
Which
allow you to
December?
chat with your friends. This was pretty much the extent of Wii Speak's use. It was compatible with a few other games, whether it was for online voice chat or just to give certain games microphone support. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy let you record victory and defeat catchphrases while also letting you speak your answers. It works about as good as I'd say it does.
It doesn't.
But the Wii Speak is worth it for recording victory and defeat sounds and Wheel of
Sad
Fortune
sound.
alone.
You got it.
It's just...
Wii Speak was one of Nintendo's most underutilized accessories for the Wii. It felt like they wanted it to be used for so much more, but they just kind of made it for Animal Crossing and then pissed out. Look at all these Wii Speak compatible games.
Why 2K?
I have to squint reading a Wikipedia article.
Well, I can at least say this
Wii
wasn't the
Fit.
case for the Wii Balance Board. Bundled in with Wii Fit, it was a skill that actively insulted you. This definitely
Dude,
got much more support.
these were
and justifiably
impossible to
so.
find.
I mean, this allowed you to use your entire body to control a game, not just your hands. Whether it worked properly or not, it was
I
on a
think
case
there
by
was
case
also
basis.
like a Wii
Some
Fit
games
game.
it
Yeah,
actually worked
this.
as advertised. Others,
That was
it wasn't
super hard.
responsive enough, or it was too responsive enough. The main games I played with this were
Fit.
obviously Wii Fit and its standalone expansion Wii Fit Plus. It made good use of the board, though sometimes these games felt more like a good use of the board rather than a good way to get in shape. Quite a few games supported
fun.
the balance board, but they mostly boiled down to other fitness and sports titles.
Real
like
age
Tetris.
is
While the Wii
negative
itself
2.
was a very health-conscious machine promoting so much not sitting, the balance board truly branded it as gaming Weight Watchers. And Nintendo wanted to do even more health-related
But that was when,
jargon
like,
in the console,
Biggest
which
Loser
brings us
was,
to
like,
the
popular.
Wii Vitality Sensor. It released.
Gotcha.
At E3 2009, Nintendo fans' worst nightmare was revealed. Much like the Nunchuck or Wii Classic controllers, this would plug into the bottom of the Wii remote. You'd then stick a finger into it and it would read your heartbeat. People lost their shit.
What?
This was announced at a time many
I've never
hardcore
heard of
fans
this.
were getting tired of Nintendo's greater focus on casual and health-based initiatives, and when they revealed something you'd find in hospice, well, that's kind of hard to get excited over. Nintendo stated that in 2010,
I had
they would
one of those
showcase
in my
games
finger
that
one time,
utilized the accessory.
and then I
Instead,
flatlined.
They went for a different
And I
tactic
said,
and
"That can't
canceled
be
it
good."
4 years later. No games, no pricing, no release window. The reveal at E3 2009 was pretty much all we saw of the Vitality Sensor. It was said to focus on getting users to relax by reading their heartbeat. The only true experience I thought of that would have benefited from this thing was a horror game.
Resident Evil
The
4?
idea of a horror game that knows
Maybe?
when you're scared has so much potential. I like to think the Wii Vitality Sensor was going to be sort of cool. I did find the concept behind it to be intriguing. The problem was, during product testing, well, Nintendo got it to work with 90% of their focus group. They wanted it to be at 100%.
And that is pretty much all of the official Nintendo-made
Oh,
accessories
now we're
for
gonna
the
get to
Wii.
the fun
Of course,
ones.
We couldn't forget about the Nintendo LAN adapter or the Nintendo Wi-Fi USB connector for playing online.
It's...
We couldn't. But that's only half the story with Wii accessories. See, if you were a company that noticed Nintendo stuffing Wii remotes into random pieces of plastic, well, let's just say lust takes many forms.
Yes, what was Nintendo too scared to make themselves?
Let's
See,
look
many
at
companies
F-22
looked at
Raptor.
Nintendo cramming this thing into God knows what and said, we can do that too. That's not to say
Nerf.
these other companies made pure garbage. I mean, you can't have not garbage if pure garbage doesn't exist. It has value. Some third-party accessories were actually pretty cool.
the heck is that?
They even got the blessing from Nintendo themselves, such as this wireless sensor bar produced by Rocketfish Gaming, but officially licensed by Nintendo. All you have
Okay.
to do is throw 4 AAA batteries in, realize the person you bought this from left decade-old batteries in it, get battery corrosion on your hands, and play Fortune Street.
But what if I don't want chemical burns and I just want to look like a fucking idiot?
Well, there's the headbanger in-game chat headset for the Wii.
Modern Warfare 3,
Another
my
one
favorite
officially
Call of
licensed
Duty.
by Nintendo. Nintendo looked at this and went,
Sure.
Okay.
yeah, Modern Warfare 3 didn't support the Wii Speak. I can't believe it either. So this
Wow.
worked with Black Ops and Modern Warfare 3 and Conduit 2. I had me at so. It's just a simple
So?
USB headset. It doesn't work with Wii Speak games. Don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. Games
Oh,
like
why?
Black Ops on Wii are still online, so let's give it a shot.
Oh, no. Can he find a lobby, or is
My
it
Wii U
crashing?
froze, but my biggest concern is I can't try out the headset. We got loads of stands for the system, games, controllers, all of that. I used to have this media tower right here, but what I have in my hands is an ashtray. I don't know who made this or when it came out, but it has the official Wii logo on it. It has spots for the console, some games, some remotes, but this
where's that
looks
supposed
like
to go?
a pill organizer to me. So the Wii with the stand doesn't fit. Only the Wii without the stand fits, and that barely fits. The Wii has these little nubs on the side that keeps it from sliding in. The games aren't snug at all, and I guess I'm supposed to put my nunchuck here?
I guess.
I hate this.
Yeah, it's
I feel
not
like
good.
The Wii is gonna fall at any moment. Maybe they want you to put it like this. But what I'm here for are the third-party controllers, like this Tatsunoko versus Capcom
That's
fight
the big
stick.
thing that,
I
yeah,
always
that.
wanted this.
Oh, it's like a, okay, so it's like a,
from the Wii
yeah.
Shop channel. There was only one way to play NES
Like actual
Pac-Man.
on stick.
Nah, but this stick would have made it way more fun. I always wanted this fight stick for anything but Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Tatsunoko vs. Capcom is a great game, but I don't know what those first 3 words mean. This is a legitimate quality arcade stick. It has superb weight to it, and it plugs into the Wii remote like a classic controller. Tons of Wii controllers
actually
use the remote
cool
as a
that you
means
can
to
plug
power the
remotes
devices
into the
as
Wii
well as
controller.
keep them wireless, which was incredibly smart. It helped keep costs down. Why cram all that technology into these things when the Wii remote can do all the heavy lifting? First thing that comes to mind are the music game peripherals. Guitar Hero and Rock Band instruments, the DJ Hero turntable.
I don't-
Just pop a Wii
what
remote
is
in and
DJ
you're in
Hero?
business. And speaking of music game
Oh,
peripherals,
boy.
Dance Dance Revolution mats. You'd plug these into the GameCube ports on the original model. Somehow I was expecting this to plug into the Wii remote. But see, the DDR mats are fine, but what if I want to draw instead
How do
of
they
dance
even
and I want this
work?
to be a drawing tablet instead of a dancing mat? I'm so lucky this exists. The uDraw
That's like the
game
Wii
tab
U
was
before the
created by
Wii
THQ.
U.
You'd pop a Wii remote in and boom, we can finally play uDraw Studio. I was always wondering why you couldn't play this. You need a tablet for it.
Oh,
So here's
okay.
the thing. For what it is, uDraw functions fine enough. It does in fact work, but not well enough for Wacom to grit their teeth. Left-handed people are a fucking sin to uDraw. This tablet was obviously designed with righties in mind. You
What?
use the Wii remote buttons to control certain elements, while
wait,
the stylus is on the
oh.
right-hand side of the device, attached by a cord shorter than the list of Wii Speak compatible games. The included software is just a simple
like,
art program.
I don't know, 11
There's
games?
loads of things to do here, like boot it up, draw a horse. The possibilities are endless. You can also play Pictionary. Guess what word I'm drawing? That's right, arrows. This is alright, but it's not anywhere close to as precise as actual drawing tablets. While THQ tried to showcase how this can be used for actual art,
it's kinda
to
cool.
me, this is nothing more than
But also,
a
he's left-handed,
THQ released
isn't he?
A handful of uDraw required games and also brought the accessory over to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. This is what killed them. Banking on an art accessory for 3 systems when you're best known for WWE games. I don't know what they were thinking with this one. Nobody goes to THQ for advice. Why did they think they could make this? See, THQ
Also,
was never really, in my
THQ
eyes,
doesn't
a bigger
exist?
quality enough company to truly make an accessory like this and for it to be successful. So I'll follow that statement up with a sentence I find myself ending everything with these days. What about Ubisoft?
Oh no, not Ubisoft.
Did anybody know this was a thing?
Did they make
The
their
Drawsome
own?
tablet, released about a year
It's almost
after
identical.
uDraw was a drawing tablet by Ubisoft.
Was there no patents?
I have never heard of this thing before. It's fundamentally the exact same thing as uDraw, but we have 2 games bundled in for the price of one. Smurf art and not Smurf art. Popping the game in. Where's the stylus? So my tablet didn't come with a stylus.
Oh.
See, I thought the core length of uDraw was negative, but hey, at least the stylus can't be lost this way.
That's true,
I bought
unless
this
you cut
used
it.
and it did not come with a pen, and I also can't use a uDraw tablet to control draw some games. I know, humanity
Wait,
just
what?
can't win. But Sketch Quest is playable with just a Wii remote.
Why?
This is a good time to move on to guns. So the Wii Zapper always looked more like a cousin of a gun rather than an actual gun, so if you wanted a more realistic take, I wouldn't blame you. The Nyko Perfect Shot feels fairly solid. You have a port for the nunchuck at the bottom. Yep, I feel like shooting.
I
But if you need
could
a Wii
show
gun,
mine, but I don't
this is
want
one
to.
of your best bets. Because other than the Perfect Shot, we have this. 2 blasters plus game. Nintendo gave their blessing to these. This was an interesting
play along.
proposition. You'd get 2 Wii remote guns and a free downloadable WiiWare game. Big Town Shootout. So we have to go to PDP's website.
Oh, he's
to get a
showing the
download for
code.
it.
Oh no. Oh,
Okay,
well.
let's at least try to input this code into the Wii Shop channel.
Oh, no, the code.
Alright, let's open up a WiiWare game I have that involves killing. These are very bizarre. We take the battery cover off the Wii remote, the gun inserts on the back instead, and it took me a while to realize they then want you to put the battery cover on the side of the gun. For the longest time, I just assumed this was how it looked. I mean, sure, this way, it's pretty well attached, but I didn't really think that was a problem with any other Wii guns I've used. Like the Nerf gun, bundled in with the Nerf and Strike
the
games.
Vulcan.
It's fine. You can also use it as an actual Nerf gun if you're just dying to prove to everybody you bought Nerf and Strike.
I
Here
mean,
we have the big boy, the Cabela's
my
big
nephew
game
has all
monitor
of our Nerf
accessory.
guns now.
This is about as complicated
He has
as
a
Wii
peg
Zapper, but
wall
this feels much
in his
more
room
like
now,
an actual gun.
covered in Nerf
There's even a
guns.
crosshair that you can sync up with the game so you can use it to aim down sights. Alright, it's time to shoot whatever comes up.
Activision direction.
I have the exact same problem with this as I did with the Wii Zapper. I just don't like moving this entire thing around compared to being able to freely move the Wii remote and
Can you
nunchuck
not
separately.
use it like
Of all these
shoulder?
things, I probably just prefer playing with the controllers by themselves, but if I had to choose
Ski
one,
shooting?
the blasters felt the best. What the f
I mean,
am I
yeah.
saying?
Well, like most aspiring parents, the only reasonable thing to do after critiquing a gun is raise a child.
Babysitting Mama, a spin-off of Cooking Mama. This one's all about not shaking
Never
the
played
baby.
Cooking
we
Mama.
have this plush doll, we slide our Wii remote in, and then we plug a nunchuck into the baby's back. Fundamentally, we hold the child in one hand and then control various things with the nunchuck.
So it's
all
just
a handful of minigames
one-handing
revolving around
things?
babysitting, rocking the baby to sleep, feeding it, all that. It is very pushy about not shaking the baby. That's a worthy cause, but it also actively encourages Wii remote implants.
Yeah, don't
But
do
is
that.
this really what you think of when Wii accessories are brought up?
No.
Of course not. Bring in the landfill. Many companies looked at the Wii Wheel and said, people will buy anything. Various accessories were put out that really add to the realism of Wii Sports.
It's a
Like
golf
how
club?
this turns your Wii remote into a 2-inch tall baseball bat and you and your friend can play baseball using 2 baseball bats. It just works. I have yet to find a plastic add-on for the Wii remote like this that actually adds to the game. These are all completely
just a
worthless.
tennis racket.
All these do is allow you to say, look ma, I'm stupid. A skateboard add-on for the Wii balance board?
no.
Well, yeah. If people ever ask me if I skate, now I have to pause a bit before I answer.
Yeah, kind of.
Boxing
The
gloves.
ridiculous
These are
video on
basically just gloves
skateboarding last
with
week.
cutouts for the Wii remote and nunchuck. Yeah, if you ever get into a fight, hide a Wii remote in your glove. An airplane
What?
controller. I have no game that would work with this in the sense that you use both the
Like,
Wii
it's
remote
supposed
and
to be like
nunchuck.
the
So
yoke?
this is just
Like-
a very static way to play Wii Sports boxing. The bowling ball. You pop a Wii remote in here and play bowling. Dear God, don't
What?
let go of it. What's
What?
the point then? Does this really feel more like bowling than just using a Wii remote by itself? What the f is the point of a golf club add-on if it's just a stubby ass top to your Wii remote? This doesn't feel more like a golf club. It just feels like I'm living a lie. What's the point of having
It's
these
literally
add-ons?
just
It don't matter.
swinging.
The wheel
Golf
I
is
get
so
because it
much
makes
more
the
than
Wii remote
that.
feel more like a wheel, but
Golf
the
is
ping pong
hard.
paddle during gameplay, I don't feel the core part that makes this feel like a ping pong paddle. What's the point?
That's very
Not
valid.
bad. But we do have various other accessories to go over, like the Cyber Bike. It was an exercise bike that would plug into the GameCube ports, and it only
how much
worked
was
with
that?
one game, and is pretty rare. I don't have the bike, but I do have the game, and I thought that would make me happy. Maracas, darts, dumbbells, pretty much every form of concrete matter in existence has been transformed into a Wii remote at some point. Clearly, I can't include every single thing made for the platform.
What is the crazy
Maybe
thing?
Someday we can
Let me know in
pick
the
this
comments.
subject back up, but for now, I think I've covered a good
I
chunk
read
of
every
all
comment.
major accessories. Once I mentioned the car adapter. Oh, of course, we can't forget about the Wii Remote charging stands. I personally never
What?
owned one because I love to support and collect for Duracell batteries. I still have my first Duracells from when I was a kid. And in
No,
addition to
they
that,
can't be
my
good.
skin cannot get enough of battery corrosion.
Ah, yes.
Hey
There's all.
y'all, Scott here.
Oh, we just immediately went to the next
Just
one.
not enough. I need more. I want people to look through my window and see a bunch of garbage and say, that looks like a fun house to break into.
No,
so I
don't.
was shifting between two options. I was thinking my first accessory to nab would be
DS accessories.
a window. But this one had deal or no deal.
This is the Nintendo DS.
Yes. The
And this
DS.
is the Nintendo DS now.
Oh.
Handheld gaming has always been Nintendo's sweet spot. Their home consoles, they simply don't believe in roofs. The Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo 3DS, and Nintendo Switch, all incredible
Billy.
successes in their own special ways. But
Like a
right
skip
in the
couple.
middle was the Nintendo DS, releasing in 2004.
Ew,
This
that's not what
was
it looked
one
like.
of
Yeah, that
Nintendo's
color.
most triumphant accomplishments.
Yes.
It showed they didn't even need 3 screens to do it. Dual screens, microphone, touch base, Game Boy Advance compatible. It was everyone's dream. And the
He's
game
gonna
library
disrespect the
really
original
struck
DS
a
so
great balance
hard.
between hardcore and casual titles, which was something that the Wii attempted. It was fruitless. With a full suite of buttons and the bottom touchscreen being incredibly useful in many cases, the more hardcore titles didn't feel completely out of place here. On the Wii, the more hardcore titles, their entire gimmick was, I'm a hardcore title on the Wii. Laugh. But the Wii was a phenomenon, selling over 100 million units.
The
I
DS
personally
a
always
lot
considered that to be the
between
more
all of
popular
them.
system, or at least it felt like it at the time. No, you see, everybody owned a Wii. Everybody owned a DS, and 4 of them. 150
Nope, only one.
million plus sold. That is insane. One of the best-selling platforms of all time. Of course, being a portable unit with 4 revisions definitely helped that
Yeah,
number.
that's why.
The whole family can share a Wii, but each member needs a DS for every finger. I personally owned a white Nintendo DS Lite and went out of my way to ensure I got the DSi. So
I
can
had
confirm
the red
that DS
original
family sold
DS, and
150
my brother had
million
the
plus,
same
subtract
red
one from the user count.
DS.
The long and short of it is, the
That one.
Nintendo DS was a monumental
Great.
success. Even during the Wii's generation, where that felt like the big deal, the DS ended up being 50% more of a big deal. And if the Wii had all these accessories and plastic add-ons made for it, run.
Same
The
video.
absolute nerve of Nintendo not including all this in the product at launch.
The Nintendo DS had a lot of potential
Look at
for
it.
add-ons.
It's amazing.
You can't look at this hole and not fill it. Look, oh my god, you could add anything here.
footrest. But we can't start talking about accessories until we talk about accessories. And first one up, my
Stylus?
college thesis.
Almost as notable as the inclusion of 2 screens was the Nintendo DS's touchscreen. The bottom one here was susceptible to abuse. This was the touchscreen. Unlike modern ones, it wasn't multi-touch and required more precise input, which is why using a bowling ball just didn't work. You could use your fingers, but the screen worked best with a smaller input, which is where the DS stylus comes into play.
I used to have a phone that had a stylus.
But it is Luigi compatible. So many kids lost theirs, but
I never lost mine.
This screen will accept damn near any form of input. Run. But
Nice.
the traditional stylus still worked the best, which is why Nintendo liked to include extra stylusi.
Did they?
Didn't help things. The stylus industry blew up in the late 2000s.
Clean, protect-
Replacement pens were constantly sold, different colors, sizes, but the issue is, each iteration of the DS had a different stylus design. The entire point of using an official DS stylus is then you can fit it back in its cubby. So if you buy a replacement stylus pack and it doesn't fit your specific model, or you went a little too wild and bought the giant DS pen, well, at that point you might as well use a dull pencil. Yeah, there's this pen-like stylus
Oh,
release
that's cool.
that clicked in and out.
That's cool.
Might not always leave
Why
it
is it so
clicked
big,
out.
though?
I must preserve the plastic. The final DS iteration, the Nintendo DSi XL, came bundled with a fountain pen stylus. The entire point of this model was to appeal to the elderly, and they love pens. This is obviously the most comfortable stylus as it's shaped and sized exactly like a real man's pen. Since the DSi XL was so big and aimed at Crosswords DS users, having a big extra pen here, it made sense as it wasn't intended as the most portable unit. This feels more at home just on a nightstand or something. I didn't realize until
Just
now
having the
how
stylus.
each DS had a different stylus design, but that's not nearly as egregious as the different chargers. I had to take a night class for this. Okay, so the original Nintendo DS has the same charger as the Game Boy Advance SP, which is a
worked
different
perfectly
charger from the Game Boy
because I
Micro,
love
which
the
came
Game Boy
after the
SP,
original DS
Game Boy
before
Advance
the DS
SP.
Lite, where the DS
Both
Lite
were
had a
amazing.
charger specific only to it, then the DSi had its own charger that didn't work with the original DS or DS Lite, and this charger was used for the DSi XL, the 3DS, 3DS XL, 2DS, new 3DS, new 3DS XL, and new 2DS XL. So the DS Lite has a charger that no other being can accept. They made up for it with the Slot 2 pack. The original DS and DS Lite were compatible with Game Boy Advance cartridges.
Yes.
Not original Game Boy, they aren't God. The Nintendo DS Lite was supposed to be actually presentable though, so they included this little filler piece to make the design look more flush. While I did never lose the stylus, I definitely lost this little piece as it was completely unnecessary. It didn't do anything except make you feel better about yourself. Like, what if people see me on the train? The main reason I pitched this was so then I could just plug whatever in the slot whenever I wanted. In which this is the place
just like
for
the
most
original
iconic
DS.
accessories called home. This slot, on top of giving us the ability to play Game Boy Advance games, completely revolutionized handheld peripherals. You couldn't do this kind of stuff on the PSP, like the Memory Expansion Pack.
Huh?
F you, Sony. This was bundled with the Nintendo DS browser, and what I have here is the DS
I remember
Lite version.
PictoChat.
This one will work on the original DS model. For that, you had to go to Nintendo's online shop. Weirdly enough, though, the original DS model's expansion pack works on the DS Lite, but the DS Lite version doesn't work on the original DS, so why wouldn't they just release the original version in stores that works for both? It's because the Nintendo DS browser had no reason to give a shit. Accessories that use the Game Boy Advance slot, or slot 2 as Congress calls it, are called DS
As
option
Congress
packs
calls
and
it?
expand the world of DS software to include Wikipedia. The memory expansion pack is required for the browser and very little else. Zero can be little. Yeah, this was only used for this title specifically because the DS can't run a web browser all on its own.
We asked too much of it.
So I'm gonna tackle something a bit more
how
useful.
dare we?
The Rumble Pack. This is a full-on throwback to the Nintendo 64, where it too had a Rumble Pack, allowing for supported games to feel the power of a seizure. Some Game Boy Color and Advance titles had built-in Rumble features.
I think
but
I have
most that
one for
cost
the
more
Game
to
Boy Color.
manufacture. You had to design a cartridge around that kind of thing. With the DS, having an optional separate accessory meant more games could theoretically support it.
Does the
Across
card
DS,
itself
It's
rumble?
like I'm really there.
Roughly 50 games supported the Rumble Pack, and most of them were released from 2005 to 2007. I think many developers and publishers realized most people weren't getting enough out of Rumble in these games to warrant plugging it in slot 2, so why bother even supporting it? But the Rumble is more impressive than I expected, though. It's fairly nuanced, kind of like the HD Rumble and the Nintendo Switch controllers. It's not going to blow your mind, but it's a fairly detailed little Rumble. It's a shame more games don't support it, though I completely understand as I'm not going to go out of my way to ever use this again. That's right, I'm taking a stand. If
After
we're talking
2006.
DS accessories that plug into slot 2, though, we gotta talk arthritis. This is one everybody
guitar-
remembers. Even if you never
No.
owned it, the guitar
No, I don't
Hero
remember this
guitar
at all.
grip was the DS accessory. Shows how much creativity developers had on the DS. How do we take Guitar Hero?
I knew Guitar
and put it on
Hero
the
was
platform
popular, but I
without
never knew it was
taking
on
away everything that makes a
DS.
Guitar Hero, i.e. the guitar. Well, you
Did a
fuck up
hand just
your
come out of
wrist,
his
that's
face?
how. Plugging this into the GBA slot and holding the DS on its side, we have a Guitar Hero game. Now with one less button.
I can be pissed about that.
It works incredibly well, though. I'm just awful at Guitar Hero. My hand-eye coordination from Guitar Hero buttons to screen just never fully developed. But that doesn't take away from how special this device is. It even came with a guitar pick stylus that fits into the grip itself.
Which is pretty cool.
This was a pretty popular title on the DS and spawned a few sequels, including Band Hero, which also used the guitar grip but had a drum pad as well. This isn't nearly as endearing. It's a silicone sleeve you put your DS Lite into. God, these kind of cases always feel like somebody just ripped their nose with them. You slide that all on and you have drum pads. It works. It's kind of cute. Just not nearly as ingenious as the guitar grip, but a worthy attempt at playing drums on the go. And keep in mind, these accessories are made with the DS Lite in mind. The guitar grip requires this adapter to work on the original DS because of design differences, and the Band Hero drums just
doesn't work.
And if you try to play with the guitar grip on the DSi or DSi XL, reality sets in. They removed the GBA slot, but included an SD card.
Wait, they removed the GBA slot?
I had an idea for a version of Guitar Hero on tour for the DSi that connected to that port. Still proud of that idea. To give the DSi credit, there were some games exclusive to it that wouldn't work on a DS Lite or DS, like games that use the cameras. But 2 games found a way: Face Training and
Face Training?
This game focuses on strengthening your facial muscles, giving you a tight smile. And the only way for it to accurately insult you is with a camera. The Facing Scan camera was only released in Japan and came loaded with Face Training alongside a stand for the DS. You can pop it on here sideways and use this thing on a desk more easily. It's pretty surreal to see camera footage on a DS or DS Lite. It works across both models, even the original DS.
Where's the camera on that one?
Flush with the model, you have a jump scare option. Face Training was later released for the DSi in Europe with no need for the Facing Scan. Still came with a stand for the system though, but nothing will beat the magnetic stand, released only in Japan. This is primarily marketed alongside games like Personal Trainer Cooking due to the fact the magnets can turn any fridge into a smart fridge. The stand plugs into the GBA slot and holds the DS up that way. It's like somebody holding up by your nostrils. But yeah, you can set it up for at a table by opening up the bottom and adjusting the angle a bit. It comes with a dangling stylus. Your question was answered. But here's a similarly designed accessory, the slide controller, bundled with the Japan exclusive Slide Adventure Mag Kid. It receives power from slot 2 and turns your DS into a mouse.
Nobody told them the definition of necessary.
That's a big why?
They move the DS around and control the character on the screen as if the DS is a computer mouse, but the screen for the computer mouse is a computer mouse. And it works. The slide controller is one of the most bizarre things Nintendo has pushed out. It's because of how seemingly unneeded it is. But it makes for an experience that can't really be replicated elsewhere. I mean
my old
but just moving the entire
mouse
device
had
around
a
like
screen
a mouse
on it, but like...
Speaking of motion-based gimmicks, Activision released a motion pack for the DS. This was a third-party accessory giving the DS some motion capabilities, specifically for Tony Hawk's motion. I moved the DS, I moved Tony Hawk in the game. It works okay, but at the end of the day, it just makes you want a real voodoo doll. Sega released a card reader that plugged into the slot, only in Japan, supporting just 3 titles. This is pretty much the same deal as Nintendo's e-reader for the Game Boy Advance, but even more useless. I don't have any of the games or cards for it, but if it's anything like the e-reader... Run!
Wait, you actually get the
was a third-party
swipe?
accessory that turned your DS into... like 2/8 of a piano. Alright, here's the deal with this. This is a cute toy that is completely bundled and supported by the wrong game. Easy Piano is mostly a minigame collection just about music, and when it does use the piano, it's like mostly just a noisemaker. It's kind of cool to hear piano noises from the DS after hitting some keys, but that's like kind of all there is to do with this thing.
My DS was always muted anyway.
Rock Band 3, that featured keyboards as playable instruments. It got a DS version that used no accessories. This would have been perfect for that game, but no. Ever heard of a Greek tragedy?
Yes.
Well, now you have.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, this is a dumb piano anyways. If you really want to learn piano, there are far better and more realistic options out there to do so with. So let's talk about a DS accessory with real-world applications. I am, of course, talking about diabetes. The Bayer Digit Blood Glucose Meter plugs into the GBA slot.
How do you...
Naturally,
how?
It is a glucose meter, after all.
How does it
I couldn't
test?
get diabetes in time to discuss how this actually works, but I don't really need to. It reads your blood sugar levels and
how?
Give kids with diabetes more incentive to read them more often. So alongside this device, you get a diabetes turn-based RPG.
No way. No way.
You get power-ups in the game for checking your blood sugar levels. The GBA slot deserves an award. There's so much it can do. Help with diabetes, put the DS on a fridge.
What happened to the DS?
We can even turn our GBA slot-based devices into iPods with the Nintendo MP3 player. It's just a GBA cartridge, but it released during the DS's reign and mainly pushes them on the box. It's a cartridge with an SD card slot and headphone jack. You pop it in and you can play your media files.
I remember when phones had
Nintendo
micro
MP3
SD card
was a
slots.
localization of the Play-In series of MP3 players Nintendo released
And
for the Game Boy
headphone jacks.
Advance only in Japan, with the Nintendo MP3 player
And
only
styluses.
releasing in Europe. I
And
would've
removable batteries.
killed for something like this back in the day. Just seeing video files play via games on the DS was mind-blowing. There were a handful more GBA slot-based accessories for the DS. Taito released a paddle controller, which is apparently incredibly incredible for games like Arkanoid.
What is
I couldn't
Arkanoid?
find one. I got the diabetes meter. Leave me be. Last one I have
How
here
much
is the
did that even
pedometer from
cost?
my weight loss coach. It really makes you think, why don't most pedometers have this plug? It's interesting, my weight loss coach comes with a pedometer, while my stop smoking coach doesn't come with Nicorette.
But it's
not an actual thing. There's no way.
You have the
That cannot
to flash
exist.
the Ubisoft logo to everybody. So yeah, it's worth it. Ubisoft did a lot of these life help games during this era. I believe they stopped because they realized they weren't good at it. Developed with a professional nutritionist.
Really?
Just one. But pedometers were a big deal on the Nintendo DS. It's probably why Nintendo built one into the Nintendo 3DS. They love health. Especially dog health.
Personal trainer walking, part of the same series as personal trainer cooking. You gotta burn it off somehow. This comes with the activity meter. Yes, you can track the dog's life rhythm. This game is pretty interesting because it actually includes its own meat creator from the Wii in the game, and the game cartridge itself is an infrared sensor. It actually concerned me when I saw it. I thought it was a bootleg since the cartridge is so much darker than usual. I never knew this is what the black market was like. Nah, it's darker because it's an IR sensor and it interacts with the activity meter this way. But did I mention you get
cool.
2 of them? 2 activity meters, 2 clips, too hard. Much like my weight loss coach's pedometer is a pedometer.
Dude, I remember pedometers were like the thing.
Ubisoft's. Watch out, Fitbit. But the more well-known pedometer for the Nintendo DS
But it wasn't
was the
not gaming
Pokewater.
pedometers,
Bundled
just
with
like
Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
little plastic
this was a
things.
pedometer that allowed you to take your Pokemon from the game for walks, which would open up in-game content based on how many steps
Pokemon
you
Go.
take. This is obviously a gimmick thrown in there to appease parents who were mortified at the fact that children weren't using their legs. So they put this out using the same IR technology as the activity meter. In the end, the Pokewalker ended up being one of the most accurate pedometers ever created at the time.
Really?
It was at their best when they have no reason to be. The Pokewalker was later repurposed for Wii Fit U. They use the exact same shell and technology, but one thing the Pokewalker has in comparison is that it can be misread as Pokewalker.
Keeping track here.
Speaking of Pokemon, here we have Learn
That's
with Pokemon.
white and black.
Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure is an educational game for the Nintendo DS, only released in Europe and Japan. This title implies that other Pokemon educational games were intended to follow this, but you don't need further education as long as you can type Chimchar. This came with the Nintendo Wireless Keyboard, a very broad name for an accessory that only worked with this one title. It's a Bluetooth
What does
keyboard,
Nintendo
which
know
does
about
mean you can
making
use it on other
keyboards?
devices, but the DS doesn't have Bluetooth, so they injected Bluetooth into the game cartridge. Just the different things they're willing to do to make things
How
work
did
on
they
the
put
DS
all this in
amazes
game
me.
cartridges?
The game also comes with a stand for the DS, which is nice, but you can just set it up like a laptop on a desk. That works perfectly fine. It's just a typing game. Type the Pokemon names. I may not know how to type any other words, but now Chimchar I can do blindfolded. After learning, it's time to go recreational.
This is basically
or in
what
other
my
words, recreate. The Nintendo DS
business
TV
class was
tuner.
in
Yeah, you could watch
middle
television
school,
on your
typing.
DS.
That's all it
Only in
was.
Japan, but this isn't a new idea. Other handhelds have had TV tuners released for them, and portable TV sets have been a thing for decades. This would have been awesome when I had my DS Lite. I remember seeing one of my friends getting a smartphone that was able to receive digital TV signals, and they could watch Nickelodeon at the funeral. When I was a kid, the coolest thing ever would have been to watch TV wherever I wanted. In the backseat of a car at school, it was the coolest idea ever. And if I was in Japan and wanted to be laughed at in public, it could have been a reality. This doesn't work here. But if I was in Japan in 2007, it might have. Even if no signal comes in, it's a really cool nugget of Nintendo history. Just seeing the software, it feels right at home with other Nintendo products at the time. So this one's pretty fun. A calligraphy pen for the game calligraphy training, only released in Japan. This game teaches how to properly write out kanji because it ain't easy. Like what, that's not a box? It's all in the amount of brushstrokes you use, and with the regular DS stylus, you can play it, but it defeats the purpose of the title. It's genuinely here to teach proper calligraphy, so the included pen, while nothing special, it's literally just a longer stylus modeled after a brush, it definitely helps. The feeling of writing in this game feels uncanny. It's so natural, but what if they went a bit further? What if it supported the Rumble Pack? I'll stay out of politics. There's another stylus alternative on the
Wait a minute, how old is this video?
Strap.
And so
it's not even a year old.
The DS had a few 3D titles on it, but just a single D-pad, so to make these games feel more natural, Nintendo would implement touchscreen controls, but to make them feel even more natural, they included this wrist strap with the original model. It has this little piece of plastic at the end. You wrap it around your thumb, and you have Nintendo's answer to having no analog stick.
What?
They could have just put in an analog stick. You got all this trouble to make up for the lack of a stick, which just makes me ask, why didn't you just add a stick? I refuse to take baths, I instead bathe in body spray. And there was a third-party stylus in the works called the Smart Stylus by PDP. I don't think it's ever released. Rather, it was only shown to the press and was more so a tech demo. It would connect to an adapter plugged into the GBA slot and would allow for the stylus to rumble and light up and play sounds based on the game being played. It was supposed to be bundled with the game Squeeballs.
And?
I don't think it was. A game called Squeeballs Party was released, and and there was a bundle containing a stylus,
but it's not
but
that
it wasn't
one.
the smart stylus, which leads me to believe this never came out. There's the direction sensor card, which who the hell knows what this is? This was probably going to be a first-party peripheral or
I've not heard of
like
any of
DS
these
game
things.
card that could track motion.
I believe it was used for this stargazing application, but that never released here in North America.
At least the headset did. The Nintendo DS headset.
The Wii had one
That's
too.
right. Nintendo basically
It's just like the
make a
Wii.
wireless headset for any game console except the DS. You could use this with Pokemon and Brain Age.
You do math like a bitch.
Yes,
Not even
games
near his
actually
mouth.
Use this for voice chat games like Pokemon Diamond and
Sudoku.
Pearl, Metroid Prime Hunters, Advance Wars Days of Ruin, but you could use it as just a regular microphone for games that simply use the microphone. I personally feel like this is a fairly pointless accessory. It's not like there were a ton of voice chat enabled games anyway.
What did Diamond and Pearl do?
Pretty much all
Gen
just
4
use
is
the
my favorite.
built-in mic, which that's gonna be worse, but who the hell was expecting DS voice chat to be good in the first place? Here we have a cleaning kit. This helps us get dust and grime out of both cartridge slots. Me personally, I'm okay. I have a tub. Screen protectors, yep, you need those, especially for the bottom screen.
What?
But I never really was a big screen protector guy.
No.
I don't know, I consider any scratches to have stories behind them.
This was
Valid.
when I was a jackass. This was just when I was a fucking idiot.
None
Some
of
accessories
my
have both
stuff has
Wii and
scratches
DS
on it.
branding, like the official Wi-Fi USB connector and some SD cards, which, branded SD cards. So everybody can see you have an official Nintendo
4
SD
gigabytes.
card when it's always going to be inside the system.
Well, that's pretty much most of the Nintendo DS accessories ever released.
Far too
At
many.
least the first 10% of them. Starter packs. Pretty much any combination of case, stylus,
Remember that was a
game card
meme.
container, charger you can possibly think of. They were sold and usually endorsed and licensed by Nintendo. Like the starter kit. Or the starter kit. Or the starter kit. Or the essentials kit. Or
Platinum.
the essential kit. Character-based accessories for if the TV tuner wasn't enough for bullies. Game card storage units. These hold one each will ensure you
Why
don't
one
lose your
each?
game cards. They're the same size as one. Stylus
Yeah,
packs,
wha-
Crayola. These support the claims that crayons can do anything. Game and Go kits for
Those
when
are actual
you really
stylus
need a case,
crayons.
but you really need Howie Mandel. There are so many accessory packs, and they're all pretty much variations of the exact
See,
same
that's
thing.
much better.
Value pack. Okay, so the stylus is longer than my leg. 6 game card cases. Each of them hold only one each. So does this really help me travel with
Why
them?
is it
does
only
this help
one
me travel
each?
with multiple at
Why?
once? Each of these can only hold one game card each.
See, the other
Does
thing
it
had
stop
it
from
right
swallowing
because it
them?
had like spots for them.
No!
Okay. It's just a blue screen now. Okay. Is my computer crashing? Too bad I'm watching this on an Xbox. Ayo. Why do we just have an entire minute of nothing? Is it just a whole, wait, is it 1 minute of nothing? No, it wasn't 1 minute of nothing. I'm stupid. Okay, well that was the Wii and DS accessories compilation. Oh, wait, the Wii accessories video came out 4 years ago. I'm not sure when the DS it came out 3 years ago, and then he uploaded this a year ago for some reason. I don't know. I was told to watch this one. Might as well 2 birds, 1 stone. I don't know. Let me know what the next Scott Waz video should be. Maybe we can get back to the Scott Gets Robbed arc. Maybe we can get back on track with that one. I think we've watched about 2 or 3 videos in that arc, and we've the last week's video was the 360 versus the PS3, which was certainly interesting. Did he do a video on the Xbox One versus PS4? Or maybe not, because that's probably not that interesting, because I think the PS4 like wiped the floor, didn't it? I'm sorry, Xbox One. I'm sorry. I'm watching this on the Xbox One I got like in, what was it, 2013, I want to say? But this is a hilarious video. Nonetheless, I learned a lot about these accessories. Did you have any of these? Let me know what you thought about them. I read every single one of your comments. Leave some down below. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. But until next video, take care and cue the music.